8:20 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, December 17th, 2025. I just put some peanuts into the feeding tree. Brought out some bird seed as well, but we've got quite a little bit of past bird seed still on the ground out here, so I have declined to basically put any more out. My Google pop-up this morning pertaining to the weather, but not through Google Weather, indicates that we are to be at a high of 38 degrees with partially sunny skies. Well, unfortunately, at the time, that forecast does not seem all that feasible, but of course, it might only take dispersal agents to clear the sky, right? We do have our typical visitors that are here this morning. We got China, Screamer, Tiny, Skunky, Mugsy, Xerox, Milady, and I'm not too sure which one this is, whether it's Squirrel or Slash or whomever. But with the peanuts placed out, the Blue Jays, of course, are coming in. We're staying rather high, of course, because of the cats being down here, and possibly because of my presence as well. But still, it doesn't stop them from hitting the tree. Something that I noticed this morning while watching GMA, Good Morning America, and well, once again, this thing known as the lottery, or the Powerball lottery, nationwide lottery, has hit over $1 billion before taxes, of course. But what was very strange was the factor that while they were talking about the lottery and the amount thereof, they showed this little image of the power balls or the lottery balls, you know, those ping pong balls with numbers on them. And what number do they show? Front and center, number 33. I find that very strange. How these numbers keep popping up. 17, 27, and 33 seem to be three numbers that keep appearing over and over that I have taken notice of. All three of them have very significant meanings behind them, okay? Now then, just mentioning something else. So we have Donald Trump, the so-called leader of the free world, which, as far as I'm concerned, is not free at all, especially now that we have such situations and scenarios as this Palantir and this massive surveillance program of all. And not only that, you know, you also have these types of surveillance programs through the manufacturers of TVs and other types of digital electronic devices out there. Okay, everything is being monitored, being watched. You know, we are all now living in that Truman Show, if you will. Okay, so we have Donald Trump that, well, uh, as far as zodiac, he is a Gemini, much akin to myself. In which many channels out there and a lot of information state that the Gemini zodiac is like the most powerful sign of the zodiac symbols, right? But then there's also the factor of, well, is there yet another zodiac sign that we are not aware of? A 13th sign, if you will. And of course, that would make sense if you were one to actually go back to the lunar calendar and having 13 months. But let's keep going on with the Gemini, okay, because after all, we now have what was formerly known as Bard, Google's original supercomputer, if you will, and whether you even want to classify it as their first, well, that's up in the air, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, so what was formerly known as Bard has now become Gemini. Okay, and we have the advancement of AI, and now I am seeing what is being labeled as Gen AI. Okay, a little bit of play on words, if you will, of that word Gemini. Gen AI, Gen AI, Gemini, right? Okay. I gotta pause this and gather my thoughts real quick. Okay, so we now have a new generation, and of course, one of the most popular generations is not the baby boomer generation, but what came afterwards, Generation X, right? And I am supposedly a Generation Xer, and we have all these things that are associated and affiliated with the symbol or letter of X. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. So now we have, as humans, a new generation of evolution, now known as Gen AI, right? Gemini, Gen AI, which is one of 3 or possibly 4 main categories of mystery, if you will. And as far as I'm concerned, these 3 or 4 categories are as such. We have this phenomenon that has been present since the dawn of time, even before written records, and that being that category of ufology, UFOs, or in today's terms, UAPs. And many people are coming around and basically repeating what I stated quite some time back, pertaining to the factor that I believe that UFOs and UAPs are completely different. UAPs being associated with today's technologies and military uses and corporate powers that sponsor and manufacture and produce a lot of instruments and devices for military uses. And that is what, everything that we are seeing up here today, as far as I'm concerned, revolves around the military, or the MIC, the military industrial complex. But as far as the original UFOs, well, still quite the mystery, right? Much akin to the occupants thereof, which of course is a different category, but we'll kind of stay away from that. Because these categories that I'm going to make mention of, they seem to all be connected. Okay, so we go into what else is up in the sky? These aircrafts that seem to be controlling the weather, right? And of course, we also have this mystery of AI, because that is a mystery that is still being revealed, if you will, and the future thereof. But because of that, morning Blackjack, how you doing, buddy? Hi. Did you get some peanuts? Huh? Did you get some peanuts, buddy? Yeah, coming up even closer. Awesome. So, okay, I'll go ahead and leave him alone and let him do whatever. And it appears as though we are slowly getting some blueness to our skies now. So, okay. All this is, if you will, breaking up. We do have a breeze that, you know, you can go ahead and go with that. Oh, well, it's just moving on out because of the wind pushing it. But then we also have plenty of evidences and proofs that, you know, it's frequencies that actually it provides the movement to the weather scenarios of today and systems thereof. So anyways, so we got three categories now of basically mystery. That of UFOs slash UAPs, not really UAPs, these jet aircraft, AI, and once again, I'll go ahead and loosely put in a fourth category of cryptids, which seems to correlate with the appearance of so-called UFOs. Does not matter what type of cryptid that you're talking about either. They seem to kind of coincide with sightings of so-called UFOs. And of course, you know, aliens themselves being a cryptid type of being, right? Or beings. And as far as I'm concerned, they are all interwoven and connected together, because these are the top four elements of mystery in which the government, or many people within the government and military and so on and so forth, don't want to discuss. They bring up these congressional hearings, but they go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. All four of these categories continue to basically remain mysteries, right? There we go. Okay. There we go. That's what I've been wanting to see. Blackjack. And he's finally gotten that much closer and going for the peanuts. Of course, he might not be too visible. And just very, very cool. You know, I am so privileged and blessed to have these interactions, regardless of, you know, it might be through what people might claim as baiting techniques. No, I'm just out here feeding the critters, that's all. And then whatever develops or evolves or transpires from there. It just is, okay? I mean, just like this guy here. We're only a matter of yards away, and not many yards at that. And the more that I talk, when I'm out here speaking, it is as though these animals, that is when these animals tend to come in that much more. And not only come in, but actually hang out and about. Very cool, very crazy. I love it. I feel privileged. I feel blessed. Much more of a feeling of being blessed than being blessed of my presence on this platform, which, well, goes nowhere, just like those four categories or topics of discussion. And now we have very few cats. I'm surprised. Okay, here is I don't know if this is Blackjack that wandered over here already, or if this is the other black squirrel. Yeah, I think this is the other one because it seems to be smaller in size. But regardless, they're quick little buggers. Not as quick as the little red squirrels though, like Rusty. But otherwise, we have only one feed line left up here. My little girl, my lady, and what she basically, hi girl, yeah, you doing okay? See how she's on the screen and on top of the food? It's because the food is actually room temperature because of being in the apartment and of course being warm. The screen is off with the snow, which is now basically becoming ice because it's all getting very compact, but we are already melting. That is the first thing that I noticed when I was getting around to come out here, and I looked outside and seen the icicles dripping away. Yeah, wind is not warm by any means, but it is warmer out here nonetheless, and the meltdown is proceeding. If we do end up having the skies clear up as forecasted, and that greater light should happen to come out, if I see anything worthwhile of recording, I shall do so, but otherwise, I think I made mention of everything that I basically wanted to bring to the table this morning. Not sure how long I'll be able to handle today because, well, for some reason I crashed out rather early last night and I woke up shortly after 3 a.m. this morning. I attempted to go back to sleep, but that just was not in the cards, I guess. So it just might turn out to be quite the rough one, especially mentally, because lack of sleep, yeah. Alright, so I guess most of our visitors have come and gone. The Juncos, I know that they are waiting to come on down ground level. They are starting to move in, ever so slowly. I could entice them to come in just that much more if I was to sprinkle out some more seed, but once again, there's just so much leftover seed down here that they can go ahead and peck away at this stuff, kind of clean it up, if you will. And they're doing their little pew pew speech. And a lot of this right here is runoff from the stash spot in the feeding tree, because this is not where I scatter seed on the ground. I keep it contained here, but all this kind of ran down and got kicked out of the stash spot because blue jays. Because not only do they really enjoy peanuts, but they enjoy sunflower seeds, and they will use their beak to sweep away all other seeds so they can get to the sunflower seeds. Now I know this just because of past feedings that I used to do from the balcony. And here is our beautiful cardinal. Come on up. Oh, kind of spooked. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Coming up just a little bit closer. Possibly not as used to me being out here as these other animals, but cardinals are rather timid anyways, for the most part. But then there are those exceptions, like that TikTok video that I showed quite some time back that I actually got a copyright claim from, where it shows a person sitting in a vehicle holding some type of biscuit, cookie, or otherwise out the vehicle window, and the cardinal comes right up and snatches it right out of that person's hand. So awesome. So very, very cool. But this is where we're going to leave it. This wind, we do have quite a high amount of moisture in the air. There goes the cardinal now. But anyways, yeah, high amount of moisture in the air. And so it's making that breeze just feel very, very cold. But once again, we are at warmer temperatures than what we have been over the last few mornings, which basically is quite a relief. But then again, it makes for some very sloppy and possibly slippery conditions. My lady, please leave him alone. Oh. Oh, that was an empty one, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go ahead and scatter out some more. Right, King? Is that King? Huh? Oh, you kind of squatted down when I said that. Who knows? They might have already cleared out everything from here. Yeah, might be. That might be the case. Yeah, going after the seed that's up there. Not really the peanuts. But yeah, I still have a little bit left in the bowl down here. Oh yeah, coming on down here. Oh, got a couple of peanuts left down in here. Yeah, there's, blue jays are starting to sing, and once again, there's a lot down here, but yeah, we'll save a little bit. I got a really good deal on my last purchase of birdseed. Got a really good deal on it. It was like over $10 for the bag that I bought. But once I set the bag, actually, the bag was in the shopping basket, and once the cashier had pulled the bag of birdseed out onto the counter, little did we realize that the top had a hole in it, and when she kind of plopped it down onto the counter, seed shot out of the bag right straight up into the air, went all over the counter, and and she right away, oh, damaged product, you're gonna get a discount on that. And well, let's just say it was much nicer paying $3 rather than over $10 for a bag of seed. That was awesome. But the ladies down there at our local DG store, they're awesome. I walk in and they're always, ready to greet me with a smile, ask me how I'm doing. If I'm not talking here, then it's when I'm down there at Dollar General. But otherwise, those are my two social periods, if you will, that I engage in, and not so much of any other type of social activities, or because I talk more to the animals out here than what I do those around me. and then I talk to you guys. That's about it. And much akin to, I believe this is about it as far as this recording for this morning. And once again, if I should happen to notice anything worthwhile of recording today, I shall do so. We are, once again, having a little bit of blueness come in. It's kind of like the Civil War, you know, we got the war between the blue and the gray out here. Okay, people. The excitement out here is basically mostly has diminished. Still have quite a few blue jays out here flying about. Of course, they'll be coming in that much more once I wander off, as well as the other varieties of birds. So we'll go ahead and let that happen. So until next time, here on this flip side of reality, excuse me, thank you for watching. Take care. And as always, try to have yourselves a great one. And I'll do the same. Peace out. As this is Skywise out.